Hi Virgo and Virgo Rising, here is your horoscope for October 2025. I'm Astrologer Joseph Anthony. Okay, last month was a big month, September 2025, because the eclipses really are going to start shaping your world in the next 3 to 6 months. Now, why is that? Because first of all, the September 21st eclipse lit up your first house of identity and self. It's basically screaming for you to reinvent yourself in some way. Okay, that's how it works when there's an eclipse, especially a solar eclipse, which is a new opportunity, a longer doorway, could last up to a year. But the most significant turning points are usually the 3rd month after the eclipse, or the 6th month after the eclipse, sometimes the 9th month after the eclipse. And they bring in opportunities to change or to look at yourself in a different way. So that's going to be huge. And then, of course, at the beginning of September, there was a lunar eclipse, which is usually about an ending, a completion, a realization in the 7th house of relationships. So maybe some of you have been through rough times in this past year with relationships, and you had to basically come to terms with them and say, okay, it was part of the experience. I need to let go of that crap. I no longer need it in my life. That's how it works. But when we go into October, this is about your values now. So, these eclipses set the stage, and now the following months are showing you the areas that you need to rebuild. Okay? So if you're a Virgo rising or a Virgo sun sign, this reading is for you. It's based on Western tropical astrology using the whole house systems. We put the sun sign or the rising sign on the first house. We equal out the houses, and then we see where the planets are moving. And that's how we could tell. This is called sun sign astrology. It's about 70% accurate, 75% accurate. And this is because everyone's birth chart under the sign is different. Everyone's alignments are different. And so your birth chart, your actual birth chart with the exact time and everything, is basically going to be more accurate. So if you don't already have your own birth chart with the alignments, get one online for free, or you could purchase one from my websites, planetswithin.com or josephpanthony.com, and it comes with the report as well. But what I'm getting at here is know your alignments, know your astrology. That way you can understand at least some of the cycles and how they're affecting you. Okay, so this month we go through, the sun is now in Libra, which is the sign after yours, and of course Mercury, your ruler, is also in Libra. Now, they're going through the 2nd house, which has a lot to do with your values, what you believe in, how you value yourself, how you value others. And this house also has to do with finances, investments, belongings, things that you own. And so all of these things are going to be on the table this month because of the sun highlighting it and Mercury highlighting it. Later on in the month, both of these planets are going to leave this part of your chart and go into the 3rd house and join Mars. And this is where your thinking gets intensified, and you start thinking, very deep thoughts, profound thoughts, meaningful thoughts. Okay, but for now, the beginning of the month opens up with this kind of energy. Now, I will admit the first week of October is a little tricky, because not only do we have these alignments going on, which generally speaking is okay, but we also have a full moon on the 6th into the 7th, which is going to be in Aries. So I'll talk about that in a minute. But you fortunately have Venus still going through your sign in the 1st house. So you're focused on relationships or connections or socializing, or even things pertaining to your physical appearance and looking good and focusing on your appearance towards others, and maybe you're changing up your fashion or your hairstyle or whatever it is. Okay, but it makes you more attractive to others when we have Venus in your 1st house like it is here. Now, on the 6th into the 7th, it actually happens late on the 6th into the 7th, we have Mercury, your ruler, going into Scorpio. Now, Mercury in Scorpio is an investigator. It wants to know things at the deepest level. It is, very intuitive and very much futuristic in the mindset of, what's going on, what do I need to focus on. And so this is going to be ramped up over the next couple of weeks as Mercury makes its way through here. But as I said, the full moon is also happening around the same time. And this is going to be in the 8th house of deep psychological transformation. It's going to be in Aries. Aries is the sign that represents the self. So when we have a full moon in Aries, we think more about ourselves. And because it's in the 8th house, it's a profound understanding of the psychological issues that you've been through. Everything you've been through in your life comes to fruition, or comes to the surface in a sense. And so this is a time where you realize, what you've been through. But the biggest thing that I tell everyone is you could think yourself, into the next galaxy, but you have to remember who you really are. You are not your mind. You are not your experiences. You are the spirit, the soul in the body having the experiences. Okay, you came here to have experiences in this physical realm. So you must begin to look at it from that perspective. You understand? And that's how you get through this deep psychological transformation that's happening to many of you. Okay, so keep that in mind, because this full moon will bring something to light. Now, Venus enters Libra on the 13th, late on the 13th into the 14th, again into this 2nd house of income and value. Now, this is beneficial for making money, for a job, for creativity. And for the next 4 weeks, as Venus makes its way through the 2nd house, and Venus rules Libra, okay? And so it's basically energy amplified even more. So this is a great time to start a business, to change your appearance, to partner up with somebody in a business, or could even be romance in a sense, or meeting a new friend at least. I always suggest to people, if you're going to meet somebody, become friends first before you go deeply into something that, you're not ready for. And so, but relationships are going to be the key with Venus going through Libra, because Libra is the sign of relationships. And so you'll find yourself thinking a lot more about relationships, making money, finances, investments, and of course your values will also be present here with Venus going through this part of your chart. Pluto, about the same time, goes direct as well in your 6th house of income. This is daily routine. It's not necessarily income. Pluto is associated with finance. That's why I meant income, but it's more like investments. But here we see the 6th house, which has a lot to do with your daily routine. It has a lot to do with health. It has a lot to do with pets. It has a lot to do with service to others. Now, Pluto moving direct has been transforming this part of your chart. So either things pertaining to your health have changed. You're transforming how you eat. Maybe you're exercising. Maybe you're not exercising. And this is transforming how you earn your income as well, because it's Pluto. And so you'll find yourself here more focused on, okay, what else can I do to help the community? What else can I do to help others? What else can I do to improve my income? So between Venus being here and Pluto being here, this is opening up opportunities for many of you. If you're looking for a new job, a new routine, something to change your physical appearance, like exercising, this could be a really good time with Pluto moving direct here for at least the next 4.5 months or so. So take advantage of the energy while it's in, favorable alignment. Now, speaking of money again, so the new moon in Libra is going to be at 28 degrees. So wherever that is in your actual birth chart, that's the area you want to focus on. But for generally speaking, this sun sign reading, look at this powerful energy here. It's amplifying this potential to meet new people, this potential to partner up with somebody in terms of a business endeavor, to just meet new friendships, to maybe beautify your surroundings, to talk to friends, to connect with others on a deeper level. If it's about income, this could be a wonderful opportunity the next 2 weeks to bring in income, to sell a product, whatever it is in terms of investments and making money. This could be a great opportunity to, create that in your life. So this new moon in Libra is very beneficial in those areas. Now, the downside to this is be careful of not overspending, because Libra energy it has a tendency to spend money it doesn't have, like racking up credit card bills and all that other stuff. So be very mindful of that, okay? So just giving you a heads up of the energy that's amplifying this month in your chart. Now, Neptune goes retrograde in Pisces for the last time in our lifetime. So this is very profound in astrology. It's at the last degree. And anytime we have a sign, especially an outer planet, going through the last degree of a sign, it's very important, because this is basically saying take one last look before we leave this area of your chart, and profound changes are in the works. And so Neptune going back into the seventh house, what are the lessons? What are the things you need to let go of that involve other people? This is what it's suggesting. You already have Saturn there, which is the karmic sign. And so with Neptune here in Pisces, in this seventh house, it's giving you one last look to look at all of the relationships you've chosen and the ones you've sacrificed yourself to, the ones that didn't work out, and say, what did I need to learn there? What did I need to experience there? Okay? And maybe you're revisiting some friends from the past, some places from the past, and that's fine too. That helps with the sort of the healing, understanding process. And so that's what Neptune's going to do here, all the way into 2026. So appreciate, enjoy, because this is a deep review process of letting go before next year. When we go into 2026, the energy and the vibration is totally different. And so it's a brand new start. Now, the sun enters Scorpio is going to help you a lot here too. Notice all this Scorpio energy in the third house. This is about self-expression. This is about the deeper meaning of life. With the sun going through here, your mind is basically on overload. And so basically what I mean by that is you are curious about everything. Your spidey senses are off the charts. You are wanting to express yourself to someone that wants to listen. So if you're a writer, write. If you're a blogger, blog. If you're a video personality, put out videos. You know, whatever it is, self-expression is going to be very important with the sun going through Scorpio for the next 30 days. And last but not least, we have Mercury, your ruler, switching signs, going into Sagittarius, which is more optimistic. And so this is about the big things, the big ideas. And so Mercury moving into the fourth house has a lot to do with your home, your feeling, and your foundation. So for the next 3 weeks, going into November, this is going to be very important for many of you. Okay, so focus on that. Anyway, there's the general overview. If you want to know more, I do an extended reading in my Inner Circle community. As you could see here, I also do the weekly astrology overview, which a lot of the members do enjoy. And of course, every Sunday we are on a Zoom call, and members get to ask me questions. We interact. Some members send me their charts. I answer a few questions for them. And, you know, this is a pretty cool community. So check it out. I left the link down below. And I hope to see you in the community. Anyway, have a great month, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye for now.